I'm okay. So a correction, I'll stand corrected. They are not going to present this paper. We only have two presentations for today. Okay, so they will be presenting the other paper, Understanding the Behavior of Rice Price and Rice Stocks in the Philippines. Same authors. Okay, thank you.
Okay, good morning. I am here to present our paper in collaboration with Ma'am Ebal, Ma'am Miauri Bautista, and Sir Jan Andrew Reforzado. So our paper is entitled Understanding the Behavior of Rice Price and Rice Stocks in the Philippines. The outline of my presentation will start with the background of the study, objectives, the significance, some definition of terms, the methodology, results, and finally the conclusion. So let's start with the background of the study. So here we will just discuss the timeline of the rice price, rice imports, and the rice stocks in the Philippines. Let's start with 2008. So in 2008, during the Arroyo administration, so they faced the global rice supply crisis. So here, the increase in the rice price has been observed. Also, the World Rice Statistics and Food and Agriculture Organization named the Philippines as the 8th large rice producer, but at the same time, the Philippines was also named as the top rice importer with 1.8 million tons of rice. Later this year, the price already stabilized, but heavy imports also continued. Next, in 2014, increase in rice price with average retail prices go beyond to 40 per kilogram. Also, the added 500,000 metric tons in imports from 800,000 metric tons original set of imports. And in 2015, the Philippines was hit by El Nino that drove the prices higher again due to the low production. Also, the rice self-sufficiency fell to 88.93% from 96% in 2013. So Noy wants the Philippines to be 100% rice self-sufficiency, but this happened. But in the later on his term, the 88.93% went up to 95%. So in 2018, a national average of 49.37 per kilogram for well-milled rice has been observed. So this has been the highest retail price since January 2007. Also, 250,000 metric tons of imported rice was infested by weevil. So this is also another crisis that was faced by our country. Another is the Nfa controversy. So the Nfa is the agency that is tasked to store stocks of rice and stabilize rice prices in the country to ensure food security. So the agency is mandated a 90-day national rice buffer stock entering the third quarter of year to be maintained. From this desired stock level, a 30-day supply of rice stocks should be in the government's position and should have a stock level good for 15 days. So the rice stocks of the agency were said to be completely gone at this time. And the rice reserve went down to 2 days supply instead of 15 days. And also, the NFA rice reached its lowest stocks inventory level yet in June 2018. Now, in 2019, the tariffication law was enacted last February and took effect last March 2019. So this law aims to cut the rice prices and inflation by 0.6%. Instead of controlling the import of rice by 10%, the law allows for the liberalization of rice imports and permitting the traders to import a near unlimited quantity of rice. So this has been the timeline of the rice in our country. So next, for the objectives of our study, we wanted to explore the behavior of rice prices and stocks from 2010 to 2019. We also aim to model the relationship between rice price and rice stock. And finally, we aim to predict the future rice price using the estimated model. So what will be the significance of this study? The results may help to understand the behavior of rice price and stocks over time. It may also help to find a pattern of relationship between rice price and rice stock. Moreover, results can also be considered as preliminary steps for further time series model building. So here are some definition of terms that we may encounter in the study. So we have well-milled rice and regular milled rice. So these are rice kernel in which hull, germ, and outer bran layers have been removed. So basically, the difference is that the lengthwise streaks of bran layers found in fewer than 20% of kernels for well-milled rice, and for regular milled rice, it is found in 20 to 40% of the kernels. Also, the retail price, this is the prices sold to the end user, and the wholesale price are the prices not sold to the end user. For the rice stock, we have the three categories. We have the commercial, NFA, and household rice stocks. The commercial rice stock is the rice stock from grains businessmen obtained from commercial stock survey, while the NFA rice stock are basically the rice stock from NFA warehouses and depositories, and household rice stock are the rice stock from farming and non-farming households. So we will encounter these terms in the study. So for the methodology, we just follow this flow chart. We started with the exploratory data analysis. Here, we did some visualization. We tested for the presence of trend and seasonality of the series. Also, we tested for the stationarity of the time series data. Next, for the multivariate time series modeling, we did first the co-integration test. So this is the statistical property of a collection of the time series variables. So the null hypothesis is that time series are not co-integrated. So if there is co-integration, we will proceed with the error correction model, or ECM. So this is done by OLS estimation. So this represents the short-run dynamics of relationship between variables. And then if we will not have a co-integration, we will proceed with the auto-regressive distributed lag model. So this is done by instrumental variables estimation, since the OLS estimates will be biased. And ARDL provides the valuable vehicle for testing for the presence of long-run relationship between economic time series. So this model involves the single equation setup for the presence of the single equation setup, and it will make the model simple to interpret. So the AR is the log of dependent variable y, and the DL is the log of the independent variable for x. And then after that, we will forecast the value of the October 2019 rice price using the estimated model. So here are the results. First, this is the graph for the monthly data on rice stock in the Philippines from January 2010 to 2019. So we had the data for the commercial, NFA, and household rice stock. As we can see for the household, the blue line, we can observe seasonality subjectively. So the peaks here are the harvesting time. These are the months of March, April, June, July, and October, November. For the commercial rice stock, we can observe an increasing trend, the green one. And for the NFA time series data, we can observe a decreasing trend. And here, around 2018, this is when the Nfa controversy happened, where we only had a low amount of rice stock. For the rice price, we considered 4 time series data. So for the well-milled rice, we have the wholesale and retail rice prices. And for the regular milled rice, we considered the wholesale and retail rice prices as well. So we can see that the 4 time series data have a similar behavior, and same peaks and troughs. Here, around 2018 to 2019, we observed the highest rise price. So this happened when the NFA had a low stock. So since NFA has no stock, so it cannot stabilize the rice price. Also, uh, this also uh, this is also when the hoarders, the traders tend to hoard the rice. So the government wasn't able to decide if they will import or not. Okay, so here we considered the NFA to be the independent variable, since it has been said that the NFA rice stock is used to stabilize the rice price, so it will be our independent variable. For the dependent variable, since they have similar behavior, we will decide which will be our dependent variable using the ARIMA models. So before that, we also tested for the trend, and we can see that all of the series, our predefined X and our possible Ys to have a trend. Also, we also tested the seasonality, and we can see that there has been no seasonality for the said time series data. And here, we tested for the stationarity of the data. The results found that all of the time series, the log time series, is not stationary, but the first difference appears to be stationary. So here are the RIMA models for the possible Ys. The RMR had an AR1 model, and the rest had an MA model. So we opted to choose the RMR to be our Y, since it has the AR model, and AR models are easier to interpret because their X's are just the lags of the Y, wherein the MA models have the X's as the errors, and it is difficult to interpret. So using the NFA as our independent variable and RMR as the dependent variable, we tested for the here. So we tested for the preliminaries. So here, the Granger causality test and the exogeneity, and it appears that they satisfied the assumptions. And then for the co-integration test, it also appeared that they are not co-integrated, so we will proceed with the ARDL, or the autoregressive distributed lag model. So here is the estimated model. So Y hat T, this is the RMR for the current month, is just equal to the previous month of RMR, and the previous data of the NFA, so the 3 months, so that is the model estimated. And then we use the diagnostic checking, and it seems that it satisfied all the assumptions except for the normality, but it's fine because the normality assumption is robust for time series analysis. And for the estimated model, the forecasted value for October 2019 appeared to be 37.52, and because the PSA released the exact value for the October 2019, this is the value they released, and we can see that there is only a difference of 0.3. So I think the model is quite reliable. This is the test for the forecasting measures. As we can see, the RMSE, the MAE, and the MAPE are relatively low. So in conclusion, an increasing trend was observed for the rice prices, commercial rice stock, and household rice stock, while a decreasing trend was observed for the NFA rice stock. Based on preliminaries, NFA rice stock was used to forecast the retail price, and the estimated model revealed that rice retail price is affected by its recent past value and the NFA rice stock of the past 4 months. This is past 3 months. High NFA rice stock for the previous months would result to a lower rice retail price, and high rice retail price for the past month would result to high rice retail price. And Also, the forecasted rice retail price is just close to the true rice retail price for October 2019. And that's the end of our presentation. Thank you.
Thank you to the first presenter. Now we proceed to the second presenter. The paper is entitled The Action Research on Using Experience Points as Learning Enhancer for in Introductory Physics course. May I call on Ms. Kwansing Jacqueline for the presentation.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Konti lang tayo. Hello. Pero thank you, nandito kayo. Okay. So what I will be doing today is to share with you what I have done in my class as an action research on using experience points as a learning enhancer for introductory physics courses. Okay. So I use the Edward Deming cycle, the PDSA, so for my action research. So I planned, do the activity, the research, conduct the study, and take action on it. So as a background, my classes are undergraduate physics course, introductory physics course, electricity and magnetism. And the goals of the course are to be able to explain the concepts and apply the concepts to their environment and everyday living. At the same time, solve theoretical and practical problems. Yeah. So we meet two days per week, 1 hour per day. They are non-physics students, okay. First year to senior year students. And I'll be talking about the 3 cycles that I've done for this research. So for the first cycle, I have 170 students. Second cycle, I have 93. And third cycle, I have 53 students. Yeah. May I ask, did you take introductory physics course in UPLB? Anyone? Or obviously you have taken physics courses in other university, right? Yes? Okay. So, may I know or may I see some show of hands who has difficulty in learning physics or understanding physics? I have one there. Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Okay. So the rest are not really having difficulty in physics. Am I right? Okay. Good thing for you. Yeah. So what's my problem based on my observations from my experience? Okay. Students have difficulty in understanding introductory physics courses. Okay. That is for my actually almost 20 years of experience in teaching. Next, other teachers also have the same observations. And from my student participants, from an informal survey, most of my students, 92, 95, and 92% of my students actually found physics really difficult. Okay, so that is a problem for me as a teacher. Next, so they mentioned the causes of the problems are content of the subject, they have too many formulas, okay? And it's too abstract for them. And for the student profile, they mentioned that they have lacked background knowledge about it. They're not really interested. They're not motivated to learn. And this is just really something like a non-priority course for them. Yeah. Application of the subject, they have difficulty in visualizing the concepts. They really cannot solve problems. They have mathematical skills, ability problem, and they cannot apply their knowledge in practice. And lastly, they blame the teachers. Students, most of the time, blame their teachers. They said it is covered in short period of time. That's why their teachers taught it superficially and taught it in a complex way. They don't really understand it. And based on research, so back up by research by Ornek, he found actually 3 factors: student controlled, that means lack of interest or motivation; course-related factor, and the nature of physics. And also, based on Angel et al. And Reddish, okay, the challenges with understanding physics are the different representations that we have to learn. We students need to learn. So what are these representations? They have to really learn to conceptualize, explain it in their own words. Second, they have to explain it using graph. Thirdly, they have to explain it using mathematical skills or formula. And based on research studies, these are the factors affecting students' understanding and learning. These are perception and attitude. So for us teachers, the challenge will be, what are the things that we can do to really change the perception and attitude of students learning our course? So that's my strategy to improve my teaching and learning strategy. But we all know appropriate methods are not a one-size-fits-all. Okay, ang mahirap maglagay ng mga methods kasi yung ibang estudyante ayaw din nung mga binibigay natin sa kanila. Okay, so as part of my plan, I consider this for students' background and preferences, okay, availability of teaching resources, so I use Edmodo, and other online courses, teachers' own proficiency and capability to successfully implement, and literature reviews. Based on literature reviews, motivation is a driving force to make them move, to make them do things. And then based on literature, we have to make students learn in an experiential way. So this is based from David Kolb's learning approach, okay? So my strategy was to incorporate these two, motivation and learning, experiential learning, and then link it with experience points. So as a learning enhancers. So what are these experience points? Later on, I'll tell you more about it. But the study aimed to cultivate my understanding or my ability to develop activities to promote understanding of physics. At the same time, I will describe to you my experience, okay, in class when I use experience points as a learning enhancer in physics. So for the first cycle, for the experience points, I use actually additional 5 Qs and 3 Ps. What are these? 5 questions and 3 problems. My students, on top of doing their assignments, okay, they have to create 5 questions, multiple choice questions, and 3 problem-solving type of questions. So whatever they have difficulty in learning, they can just try to answer on their own. So they can read on their books, internet, or whatever references they have, and try to answer 5 Qs and 3 Ps. They have 15 chances, and for every additional 5 Qs and 3 Ps, they will get 100 XPs, and this is equivalent to 0.1% in the total lecture grade. So that's the motivation part, to get more grades. So for the implementation, so first day we do orientation, second day we have quiz and experience points discussion. We have weekly reminders, EM quiz for the second to the last day, and then last day submission of reflection papers, and we did some focus group discussion, interviews, and reflection of teacher researcher. So what are the data that I have collected? Students' reflection papers, interview results, teacher researchers' observations, and reflections. For today, I will give you some initial results from this study. So for the first cycle, total of 170 students, okay, actually there are 59%, only 100 students out of 70 students took part in the experience points, since this is just additional points for them. They don't really need to do it. It's optional. And but the maximum points that 3 students took are 1,400 points. So malaki din. So may mga students din na kumukuha ng experience points. Okay, pero may 70 doon na challenge for me, bakit hindi sila nag-take? Okay, when I asked them, some students mentioned it is relevant, experience points is relevant and rewarding, and for improvement, kasi they have no time to do it daw. Sobrang dami daw ng ginagawa nila. forgot about the assignment deadline kasi hindi ko na sila pinapapasa, and some deadlines are during Hell Week. So ayaw nila nun. So hindi sila daw nagpasa dahil doon. Okay, fine. Next, teacher's reflection. I gathered a lot of positive feedback, creates relevant experience, good supplemental tool to enhance students' learning in physics. For improvement, I need to do this for more encouragement to do it, more scaffolding, suggest more activities, and I need to do some constant reminder. So I will adopt and adopt for my first cycle. So second cycle, okay, what I changed is the orange color one. I added more activities. So what they can do is they can add 5 more questions and 3 problems to try on if they have problems in solving about this topic. They can do that. Or they can summarize each topics or do a photo voice, a video, demo materials, actually kahit anong gusto nilang gawin, basta ma-experience sila yung learning ng physics. Kahit ano, may points sila doon na makukuha. That is equivalent to 10 points. And in addition, yung last part, for every 50 points for all members intergroup. So they are in a lab group. They have 6 members. So kung lahat ng members nila, in-encourage nila to take part, at lahat nagkaroon ng 50 points, they will get additional points for that. Okay? Same pointing system, 0.1% into total lecture. What's the result? Out of 93 students, there are 85 students, about 91% who took part in the experience points. Okay. So same yung mga comments ng mga estudyante, and for the improvements, nabawasan yung forget about the assignment deadline kasi they can submit it anytime. So wala na akong deadline for them. Kailangan lang magbigay sila kung kailan nila gustong ibigay. So ayaw kasi nilang na pipigilan sila or may deadline sila. And then, so same yung reflection ko, pero hindi ko na kailangan ng constant reminder. Actually, binigyan ko sila lagi ng constant reminder. Actually, every meeting may reminder ako, so tinanggal ko na siya dyan. And for the last cycle, actually, I still adapt and change something. So instead of adding more activities, hindi ko na inad. Kahit ano kasi pwede naman nilang gawin. Pinalitan ko na lang yung pointing system para mahikayat sila. So for every points, 50 points, 1% sa others part, okay, dun sa 10%. Pero pag naka 200 points sila, they will get 5% in the final grade. Okay? And the result, lahat sila gumawa. O, di ba? Yun yung reward system na yun, feeling ko effective sa kanila. At effective yung pointing system na binigay ko na para sa kanila. Okay? Hindi na sila mapupush na kahit kailangan malaking points bago makakuha ng points. Maliit lang kasi yung 0.1%. So, same thing, student experiences, positive feedback, and then we need more encouragement para mas marami silang experience points. And for the reflect and share part, the use experience points is actually 2 thumbs up. Okay? Why? What makes it successful? It empowered the students to choose whatever they needed. Okay? Let's say they have a difficulty in learning electricity or magnetism part. So they dealt more on that. They added more problem solvings. They solved problems. They submitted their problem solvings. And then actually, they felt that it is relevant to them because they have learned something. And then using photo voice, actually, I emphasize this more on photo voice. They experience more relevant things that they can actually apply to their lives. So they can see the connections of physics to their lives. So that's the most important part. And the last one is rewarding. So rewarding in the sense that they can really learn something from it. At the same time, they get a higher grade there. So what makes it worth doing for me as a teacher? Maraming ginagawa, but I have student assistant anyway, thanks to that. So hindi ako masyado nahirapan sa pag-check. But what makes it worth doing? Students were able to do the goals of the course, which are explain the concepts, apply the concepts, and they were able to solve theoretical and practical problems. So thank you very much for listening, and I hope you have learned something from this research.
Thank you so much, ma'am. That's so inspiring to have our students participate in our classes. May I invite the two of you to come in front for the open forum. Miss uh, Lisette also. Please join us in front. Wait lang. Since we are in a small group for this particular session, may I encourage everyone to ask questions for them, particularly that we are all teachers here. And I, for one, is very interested in the pedagogical approach that was used in her physics class for us to make our students interested in what we offer them, okay, in our courses. At this point, we have 15 minutes to spare for the open forum. Anyone from the floor who wants to throw a question? Thank you, sir. Before you throw a question, please state your name and your affiliation. Thank you.
Falguera po from DSS-CAS. Bali, ang question ko kay ma'am about the rice importation, yung bang we are importing rice due to, are we obliged to import rice? Parang is it a matter of bilateral trade negotiation kaya tayo nag-import ng rice? O kailangan talaga natin ng rice? Mag-import.
Hindi po siya masasagot talaga nung study,
Yeah,
pero I
masasagot
think kailangan talaga din naman ng imported rice since hindi nasa-satisfy nung rice production natin yung demand. And also, nag-export din kasi tayo ng rice.
Yes, so, doon ako nagtataka
Yes po.
They're exporting rice, but
And
we're
then
also
we
importing
import rice.
So siguro baka naman that's a matter of bilateral trade negotiations with rice-producing countries. Baka lang.
Ayun nga, sir.
Baka lang. Tapos may isang question kay Dr. Kwansi, ma'am. Ma'am, yung bang, how do you define experiential learning? Is it what you call, is it parang part of everyday life ng mga estudyante yun? I-explain nila.
Experiential learning, sir,
Salamat.
kahit ano basta ma-experience nila yung learning. So, ibig sabihin nun, you can add in activities like, one, relating it to their everyday life. Two, is to make them understand, how to make them more understand how to solve physics problems through, let's say, yung mga multiple choice problems or problem-solving questions na nasa-solve nila. So, if they can experience solving it on their own, that is also experiential learning. So kahit ano pong activity na magiging relevant sa estudyante, na first-hand experience nila para mas matutunan yung physics po.
Kasi pwede rin yan sa ibang subject eh. Hindi lang
Yes,
physics.
sir. Pwede po siya sa ibang subject. Ano din po siya, nakakatulong din po siya sa ibang subject.
Thank you very much, sir. Any more questions from the floor? I have a question. I have a question. My question would be, I was bothered by the thought that the price of rice, which is parang in your what do you call this, prediction or forecasting about the rise of price in the market, relatively low yung nakalagay, no? Because when you go to the market, it's not really the price that it's being offered to the consumers. Kasi it's 37, and in the market, it's hard to find what is the decent rice varieties at that amount. So I am just bothered, no, not bothered, curious on I thought na anong klaseng bigas ito ang nabibili sa ganong presyo. Kasi hindi ko nakita yung di ba, NFA,
Yes.
commercial, household rice, ganon.
For the rice price, ma'am, we have four kinds of rice price. So the one that we predicted is the regular milled rice and the retail price. So I think, ma'am, baka ma'am yung binibili niyo ay well-milled rice. Ayun po, mas mahal po siya. That one.
Wala lang kasi pag tinignan mo
Mas
doon, if you
mahal
go
na.
to the market, really,
Yes,
it's really
ma'am.
hard to find a
Mga
good
dinarado.
variety at that
Mahal.
price. Yeah. Any more questions from the floor? Siguro, let's make this more intimate yung mga questions natin. Yeah, please, ma'am. Thank you.
Good afternoon po, Diana Rose Gonzalez from IB. Kay Ma'am Kwansing po. Ma'am, dun po ba sa pinapagawa niyo pong experiential points, chine-check niyo pa rin po kung tama po yung sagot nila dun sa problem set, kung tama yung sinabi nila dun sa videos?
Oo, chine-check. Kailangan kasing i-check siya.
Okay po. So parang pagka inad po siya dun sa, di ba parang nata-translate po siya into bonus points, parang ganun. So parang hindi po nila, kunyari makukuha yung, let's say 50 points dapat yung makuha nila. Hindi po nila makukuha yung full points kung kunyari may mali sila dun sa problem set or...
Ang ginawa ko dyan, sa simula, talagang sine-check ko siya ng isa-isa. Tapos, kapag may mali, sasabihin ko sa kanila na may mali, and then they have to change it para makuha yung points.
Full points.
Oo. Pero towards the end, kasi ang main point lang naman ng experience points is for them to experience learning these things, yung mga nahirapan sila. So, towards the end, hindi na masyadong stricto sa kanila. Para alam nila sa simula, alam ko, chine-check ko yung mga, activities na ginagawa nila.
Tapos ma'am, gusto ko lang po mag-thank you kasi parang ang ganda niyang sundan sa iba pang klase. Tapos, yun nga lang, parang kasing mas nalilin yung mga estudyante sa pagkuha ng mga rewards, ng parang bonus points. Pero kasi wala naman tayong, yun talaga yung way din natin ng pag-grade dun sa mga estudyante. Pero very authentic, parang ito na po yung authentic assessment nyo din para sa mga estudyante. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more questions po mula sa ating mga kasamang mga profesor? Okay, I was actually thinking how we are going to apply that in the social sciences, experiential learning, more especially in history. Kasi I teach history. So, more or less, when nag-isip ako kanina, how do we apply that in our courses? Especially that we are talking about the past and its relevance to the students. And more or less, ang mga batang ito, they're quite disconnected from the past. Parang ganan. So, how do we do that? Nag-isip tuloy ako na maglagay. I'm inspired to think of activities for my students to have that experiential learning, okay, in my class in the next semester. Maybe mag-ask tayo sa kay ma'am ng tulong how to do that because students really, respond well to a reward system. Yeah.
Actually, ma'am, ang first thing is to check your goals. Kung kunyari may application, so doon, lalagyan mo lang po doon na activities na pwedeng mabigyan na application. Like yung photo voice is really a helpful activity for me. Photo voice kasi they will take pictures and then they will write a caption on how this one relates to their life. Or sometimes, kasi medyo mahilig na sila sa video, so they do self-video, tapos nag-vlog sila sa sarili nila, and then they will, let's say, point to this, this one is physics in, like that, and then they will explain the concept behind it. Maybe for you, you can also do the history. From here, the history of this is like this, and then the connection of it to my life is like that. Ganun po siya.
Thank you for that suggestion. We'll do that in the next semesters. Wala na po ba tayong mga question from the floor? We still have 5 minutes for the open forum. If none, may I call on Ms. Mary Joy Lopez to join me in front to award a certificate of participation. I will now read to you the content of the Certificate of Participation. College of Arts and Sciences, University of the Philippines, Los Baños, presents the Certificate of Participation to Lisette Aguila, Mi Auri L. Bautista, Lara Paul A. Ebal, and John Andrew P. Reforzado for presenting the oral paper entitled Understanding the Behavior of Rice Price and Rice Stocks in the Philippines during the 12th UPLB-CAS Student Faculty Conference with the theme Fourth Industrial Revolution, Opportunities and Challenges for the Arts and Sciences, given this 18th of November 2019 at the College of Arts and Sciences Auditorium, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Signed, Major Juan B. Aguila, Chair of the 12th UPLB-CAS SFRC, and Dean Felino P. Lansigan, CAS. May I call on the other group members, siguro ni Miss Aguila, if they are here, to join her in front. Sige na, tayo-tayo lang naman. Halina kayo. Oo. For documentation. Halina kayo. Sige na, ma'am. May magpipicture. There's documentation over there. Oo. Meron. Okay. Same certificate is awarded to Ms. Jacqueline T. Kwansing for presenting the oral paper entitled An Action Research on Using Experience Points as Learning Enhancer in Introductory Physics Courses during the 12th UPLB-CAS Student Faculty Conference with the theme Fourth Industrial Revolution, Opportunities and Challenges for the Arts and Sciences, given this 18th of November 2019 at the College of Arts and Sciences Auditorium, University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Signed, Major Juan B. Aguila, Chair of the 12th UPLB-CAS SFRC, and Dean Felino P. Lansigan. With that, we are ending this session. We will be back at this venue at 1 o'clock for the competing oral presentations. Thank you for your participation. Good morning.